I'm Hasan Minhaj and I'm the host of Patriot Act on Netflix. Ask me anything. Hey there everybody, I'm Hasan Minhaj. Hope you are all doing well during these uncertain times. My show Patriot Act with Hasan Minhaj is back on Netflix with a brand new episode streaming right now. You can also catch the main story from each episode on YouTube. In our most recent episode I covered America's growing issues with housing and how the coronavirus pandemic is making problems even worse for renters. Also, follow Patriot Act on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Have you ever been pressured by politicians, lobbyists, companies, etc. to not discuss a particular subject? The dairy farmers of America pressured me not to do an episode about how oat milk is better than regular milk. Of all the topics you've covered, which one has shocked or angered you the most? Student loans. Realizing how loan services like Navient make it impossible for people to pay back their loans was crazy. There's one strategy Navient has where they convince people to go for something called loan forbearance, where you put off paying the loan but have to deal with huge interest rates later, instead of something called an income-based repayment plan, which lets you have smaller monthly payments if you make less money. Basically, they actively convince people to make really bad financial decisions. It's horrible. If comedy entertainment industry hadn't worked out for you, what would have been your second career choice? Roller coaster designer. I would have been really good at that. Have never ridden a roller coaster, but I'm passionate about the intersection of physics and design. How do you choose what goes into choosing a topic, and about how long do you research each one before writing the episode? What kind of things do you look at in determining if it's a good subject to explore for an episode? Our staff pitches episodes and we approve them based on how many references to Jeffrey Epstein you could make in them. Roti or naan? Paratha. Come on now. Sometimes naan comes in and it's too thick and your naan to salan ratio is all off. Also, if you let it stay outside too long it calcifies like dinosaur bones. Paratha splits the difference between roti and naan. It's the middle way. It represents balance. Hey Hasan. Love your show. If you had to choose one meal to eat every day for the rest of your life, what would you pick? I'd probably just keep going with what I'm eating every day now. A can of beans, a spoonful of peanut butter, and Gatorade Frost. The perfect me. As a son of immigrants, how would you fix legal immigration? Also, is there a topic that Netflix just said no? Open the borders. It's all fake. Government isn't real. The president is a hologram. Viva la resistance. Salam. Hasan. Do your parents watch the show, and if they do they give you a hard time about the casual profanity or concern about hitmen taking you out? Considering I decided to get into comedy, this is the best case scenario and my parents are very proud and happy. They don't like the cursing during Ramadan. I'm trying my best to tone it down. Also, Netflix pays for 2 ex-Blackwater guys to keep guard over me at all times. If you had to fight off 100 tiny masturbating monkeys or one giant masturbating monkey, which would you choose and why? 100 tiny masturbating monkeys. No question. Just need a leaf blower. Hey Hasan. Big fan here. Given how COVID-19 and the 2020 US election have been dominating both American and global news outlets for the past few months, what are some major ongoing events that you feel the media have the responsibility to be covering but aren't, due to the likelihood they won't receive as many viewers or clicks as the 2 major stories of the year? It feels like these topics are drowning out stories and people that also deserve some attention. Our most recent episode on rent and evictions was something that I felt hadn't gotten enough coverage before the pandemic, and then it was actually exacerbated by it. But we actually set up a website, don'tgetkickedout.com, to help get out information that might not be that available but that could help people if they are having trouble with rent. Even before COVID, we tried to cover topics we think are novel and don't get a lot of airtime because, at face value, they aren't flashy or scandalous enough. The depressing reality is most things, if you dig deep enough, have some sordid and clandestine details going on under the surface. One episode I'm really proud of is the episode we did about crosses. Might have seemed like an odd subject for an episode at the time, but in light of Corona it's become a big hotbed of discussion. Is John Stewart as funny as I want him to be? Yes. especially when it comes to talking about lunch. I remember one time on the way to rehearsal he stopped to talk to one of our camera guys about the size, temperature, and texture of the perfect pastrami sandwich. I really think TDS should have been more food oriented. He has so many strong opinions about food. This was one of my all-time favorite J Stew moments on the show. Hey Hasan, what life advice would you give to the class of 2020 graduating in this difficult time? Stay true to yourself. Don't let anybody talk you out of your dreams. And do not, under any circumstances, enter the illegal wildlife trade. Hi Hasan. Excited for the new episodes of Patriot Act. I saw your interview with Justin Trudeau recently and it was exciting to see how you came ready to push the hard questions while still being a comedian. How did you prep for a possibly tough interview like that with a world leader? We did a lot of research and watched a lot of his old interviews, so we were pretty confident what his stance was on these topics, and how he would answer basic questions. But instead of trying to pitch him curveballs or change oops like a normal interviewer, we threw a couple of fastballs at his head, metaphorically obviously. Hey Hasan, been a big fan of yours since your days at The Daily Show. Who was your favorite colleague to work with there and what kind of an influence did they have on how you present your stories on Patriot Act? Jordan Klepper was so nice to me when I first joined the show. He took me under his wings and showed me how to do field pieces. I owe a lot to him for two things in particular. He showed me how to be thorough when getting questions and comedic games ready for a shoot, and then to just have fun. If you watched him in the field, he's so good at improv and it's really because he's being patient, listening, and having fun out there. Do you like or hate being compared to John Oliver? Number. British people are disgusting. Sorry, my Indian is coming out. John is incredible. Being compared to him is an honor. TDS family for life. Hi Hassan, if you could be green screened into any movie, what would it be? Hanging out with Will Smith in I Am Legend. It's such a great TNT movie. What's your favorite kind of soup? Whatever kind is given to me as a Costco sample. I remember during the fall of 2005 they had an amazing tomato bisque and grilled cheese setup that my dad and I went to town on. Your favorite quote? Hasan Minhaj is a personal hero. LeBron James.